What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today we're checking out Night Call, a game where you work as a taxi driver and you take passengers to try to figure out who tried to serial kill your face off. Welcome to the world of indie games. I'm Splattercat. I will be your guide for the remainder of this video. I don't know, unless I'm feeling a little bit crazy, and then maybe we'll swap hosts in the middle, but I doubt it. There's nobody over at my house right now. I'm completely alone, so that'd be actually pretty talented if I could make it happen mid-episode. Let's start the game. New game. Choose your investigation. Oh, I didn't know there was different investigations. I thought you had somebody tried to serial kill you at the beginning of the game or something. Let's see here. We can have the judge, the angel of death. So we've got victims all have something in common and the motive seemed clear, but which suspect did it? Balanced case, perfect for a first run. Oh, these are the difficulty levels. All right, we can also do surprise. It will randomly pick an unsolved investigation. Let's try this one first. Choose the difficulty mode. Money will be easy to get by. The investigation will be easier. For every action, it will take less time and for a chill experience. Let's do the balanced mode. I want to show the game off as it's intended to be played, since I figure that's the way most people will play it by default. Here? Sir, can you hear me? Do I need to speak up? You're fine. She takes a deep breath. Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. The word bounces around your head. You need a minute to understand its meaning. Coma. The word scratches along your throat. Yeah, you were the victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris. You feel the contents of your stomach crawling up your throat. The judge, as the police call the killer, assaulted you. The bullet hit your liver and in most circumstances probably would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced... Her voice becomes more distant and fades. You taste bile at the back of your mouth and your head is burning. You hear a whistle in one ear. Your fingers move to the wound. Underneath the bandages you can feel hard skin. It's incredibly painful. Did they... I'm sorry? Did they catch the judge? No. What about my passenger? He was dead before you even got out of the cab. The doctor is silent for a second. A very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible and ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who's survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You try to turn your head, but to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care. He's the only witness. Another female voice joins in, a strong authoritarian voice. You can't clearly make up what she's saying. A strange feeling begins to wash over you. It's not pain or fatigue, but some odd combination of the two. Before being in this hospital room, you never realized that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Anger. A feeling you know all too well. Days go by and a month later. Seasons change, time passes by. So here we are in the middle of Paris. Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache, and it's your first night behind the wheel since the attack. Are you listening to me? You catch your boss's eye in the rearview mirror. Yeah. He stares at you for a second or two without speaking. Sometimes I wonder what goes on inside your head. You always seem so far away. I'm sorry. I just want things to get back to normal, to clear my head and stop thinking about it all. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on. You know I'm worried about you, don't you? Yeah, I know. You're like a son to me, you know? Yeah, I know. And he knows he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet again. When my father died and he left me the store, I would have sold it. I could have sold it. I could have retired and gone back to the old country. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money that he left to me to hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I got like 45 guys like you working for me now. His hands flutter in the air, though none of them are any match for you. He smiles, his voice suddenly takes on a serious note. You want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, and the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little bit of a refresher. Yeah, it's a good idea. Right then, well first the map. You spot potential customers and try to guess where they're going to be going. Then you decide. When a customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you gotta go pick them up. He shrugs. That's the way it goes. It's business. Alright, no problem. The other fares, you look at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. And then you drive. He flashes a quick mechanical smile. You know it all too well. When he talks about work, he talks about work, and that's all. When your shift is over, we do the numbers, and his voice trails off as if searching for the right words. And that's all. It's pretty simple, really. There's no reason why you can't do it. Alright, no overtime. We're in France here, and there are rules and regulations. You might not see it that way, but nobody likes having a driver who hasn't slept in 24 hours. He looks away, and something's been bothering him since he got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're gonna do a good job. What's the matter? Your boss keeps quiet for a while as if he's hesitant to speak, and then... I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer is still out there, and we think he's gonna come back specifically for you. We? Your colleagues. I do too. Anyways, I'm gonna let you get back to work. Every minute spent in the taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic and half serious. Alright, you can count on me. He scratches an invisible stain on the armrest. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. He smiles. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about. Taxis are coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You are branded. You sit there for a moment, then turn the key in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tingle down your spine. It's impossible to describe how you miss that feeling. It's back to the night shift and back to life, despite the attack. Despite it all. Alright, well we got a couple of fares over here. And we got this lady right here. She's pretty close. Let's go pick her up. I mean, we might as well go for the close jobs. Two joggers are on the right-hand sidewalk. You never understood the point of running, especially not in the dead of winter. Ivry, please. Okay, we'll take the fare. The next passenger's been crying. She stares at the floor and gives you an address in the nearby suburbs. You've just started driving when her telephone rings and the ringtone is familiar. Yes? There's a pause. Her tone is sharp and curt. Yeah, I'm on my way home now. She pauses and holds her breath. Yeah? Another pause. She sounds annoyed. No, I took a taxi. On the other end, the voice gets louder. Who's paying? Well, I am. I don't want to take the bus home tonight. Come on, lay off. A new round of criticism begins. Look, can you just lay off? Yeah, we'll talk about it when I get back. She hands the phone away from her ear, ready to hang up, but then pulls it back. Yeah, I'm here. She finally glances at you. There's no need to scream. I can hear you. I told you we'll talk about it when I get home. She rolls her eyes. Oh, come on. My life isn't ruined. I mean, I failed one exam. Don't worry. There's going to be more. Their voices raise another notch. I'm going to have to let you go. Oh, well, stop freaking out. Why would a taxi be any more dangerous than a night bus, Mom? Are you out of your mind? It's impossible to talk to you these days. I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up. She pulls her phone away from her face like she's afraid of it. You hear a ring, same tune as before. The young woman hesitates, turns the phone over in her hand, and decides not to answer. I'm sorry. I know that tune. Her face lights up. Yeah, it's Lock Me by Leo Delibes. We gave a performance with this music. After hearing it so much, I just kind of fell in love with it. It's such an incredibly soft piece. In the opera, it comes from the priestess Lock Me and one of her companions. They go to gather jasmine for the temple, and you sense the love between the characters. And it's mutual. The two women sing, and their words are similar, but not identical. Do you sing? No, I'm a dancer. Classical, jazz, other combinations. I've danced since I was a little girl, but I've been dancing even more these last few years. I love it. A friend and I, we put on our own choreography to a few scenes from the Lock Me to opera once, and we did a show. It was pretty exciting. The smile that appears on her face seems to have erased the tears. Thanks for earlier, by the way. I missed the last metro, and, well, to be honest, I really didn't want to go home. My mother's waiting to have a very long discussion about my future, my career, and all the sacrifices she's made for me. She's a cleaning woman in one of the fancy office buildings at La Defense, and I failed my bar exam, so she thinks that, she stops herself. She was gonna make a joke, but something keeps her from doing so. Her voice vanishes. Well, she thinks I'm gonna end up as a cleaning woman at La Defense, too. Your passenger sighs. She thinks I dance too much. She thinks it's Lackme's fault. But mostly, she thinks that it's my fault. She heaves a huge sigh and stares at nothing outside. I studied. I worked hard, but I didn't pass. I just don't believe in all that anymore. Now, be warned, what I'm about to say is going to sound cliche, but I want to be a dancer, not a lawyer. My mother doesn't understand. You must work to earn money in order to succeed. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to unload on you. I must seem a little pretentious or like a little princess. Not at all. Thanks. For lying anyways. She smiles. The address she gave you, it's not much farther. I mean, I know I owe my mother a lot. I have to stop being so self-centered, blah blah blah, and I gotta pass this fucking exam. She clicks her tongue as if to force herself to stop talking, instead keeps going. But, mind you, she came to my Lock Me performance. She pauses, trying to find the words. She saw me dance, and when we left, it's kinda dumb, but she didn't say a single word. And I think I've never felt prouder. Her silence spoke 1,000 words. You pull up to her house, and she takes her time getting out of the car. You know, I don't know why I said all that, but it felt really good. Thank you. She disappears. Her tears have definitely vanished. There you go. We got a €2 tip. Not too bad. We got another pickup here nice and close. We got that guy over there. Let's go ahead and start off with her. I'm trying to pick up whatever's closest. We got gas to look out for right now. And so, if we got a fare that's a lot closer, I'm following Crazy Taxi rules. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word because I'm going to butcher it. You pull up to a local police station and pick up your next passenger. She comes out from under an archway, visibly frightened. She slips into the back seat of the cab and gives you her address near Montparnasse. Montparnasse, I don't even know. I'm just going to call it Montparnasse, all right? I'm sorry, French viewers. I'm going to butcher your beautiful language. I can't help it. I'm not a speaker. You glance at her in the rearview mirror and notice how she is distressed, or how she's dressed. Everything all right, ma'am? Your passenger eyes you intently, reluctant to speak. Yeah. You could barely hear her. She points to the car radio. Can I listen to the radio? You nod yes. Which station? My wallet was stolen. She pauses and fixes her eyes on you and freezes. I mean, I have money for the fare, though. Alright. The passenger senses your surprise. I just wanted you to know, to tell you anyways, that I could pay. She looks down. What kind of music? Excuse me? The radio. What kind of music should I put on? Rock? She shakes her head. No, could you turn it to 89.4? You hold down the button until you get to the station. On 89.4, there's nothing but static. Are you sure this is a hint of a smile plays across her mouth, faint, but a smile even so. She waits a second or two before answering. Can you hear it? You lean forward slightly closer to the radio. Behind the sounds of electric sputtering, there is something else. A shifting sound. It sounds like, waves. The passenger looks up. That's right. There's waves in the background. Her voice is almost inaudible. It's perfectly natural, sir. Her sir gives you quite a start. It's the frequency that causes it. It vibrates. It's constantly dancing about, pulled by all the incredible forces that surround us. Most people, they listen to music, to the news. As for me, when I work, I like to listen to isolated frequencies like these. They're broadcast, but nobody hears them. It's proof that we exist. She smiles at you. You're getting close to her address now. And what do you do for a living? Math. She seems mesmerized by the sound of the wavelength. What kind of math? Well, algebra first. Linear algebra. And now harmonic analysis. Spectral theory? A funny smile plays across her face. But you know how it is, and things are changing all the time. You nod, somewhat slowly. The client suddenly straightens up and points to the radio. It's beautiful. So incredibly beautiful. Listen. You listen. You only hear static at first. And then, little by little, like a distant figure, the music takes shape and slips softly into your ears. Beautiful, isn't it? To me, they were like ghosts, and that's why I studied science and later mathematics. I wanted to know why. You pull over. She gets the fare ready while you slowly turn up the radio. Beneath the layer of interference, someone is speaking, like the voice of a child. Thank you. You emerge from your trance and take the fare. Your passenger exits the cab and walks away without another word. You sit there immersed in the sound of the radio a little while longer. It has a soothing effect on you. You start the engine and drive away. Oh wow, she gave us a $10 tip right there. We got 10 euros. Man, we killed it. That's what I'm talking about right there. The door opens suddenly and a woman gets into the back seat. Having a good night? For a second you freeze. It's one of the cops that's working on the judge case. She grins at you, her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty easy. For weeks I've been saying to myself there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around and mulled it over, begged all my fellow cops about it because I was sure that you lied to us. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you here. She leans over. I don't think you're the judge. Just can't picture it. She squints like she's trying to make you out from far away. Like you'd have gone to all that extent to hurt yourself. Between us, it is a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. But not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know any better, I'd think that he had a crush on you. She smirks. Nah. I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17. An icy chill fills your gut. And for murder. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile. But you're lying about your name and your address because I checked. It's normal, you'd say. If they get a word of your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease for your car, meaning no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, that's not quite right. I like the guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like the guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's actually not so hot on evidence. So I'm going to give you info. Victims, suspects, medical reports, a couple of photos that are a little bit... You need to be discreet. Keep it between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, dig around. I'm not a cop. She shrugs. Don't worry, you're already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest and deliver the killer wrapped up with a bow in front of the station, okay? You're no Batman. You're just here to get me more information. She rummages around in her pockets for what seems like forever. Here, my card. I'm gonna call you in 3-4 days just to check in and we'll chat. I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on a didactic, paternalistic tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face and your emotions. If I have to, I'll go check in on you-know-who. Her smile is biting. That reminds me, does she know you've done time? You shake your head and she snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag. You cover your tracks pretty well. She acknowledges your silence with a nod. Alright, I think you've got a handle on our little deal. Any problems? I'd turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it. Your real name. Anybody close to you is going to have their places searched. They'll be put under house arrest, spend nights in jail. You have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trial underway? You sigh. You know what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be, brothers, really. I'm nothing like that son of a bitch. She smiles. Let me tell you, with that face of yours and your handle, they're going to welcome you with open arms. You have no right. Oh, I know. I know that we have no right. She takes a serious tone, businesslike. I want to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him into court and ruin his fucking life with a bang. I can't botch this. You got me? And neither can you. Right? Yeah, obviously. Well, good then. We see eye to eye. So you can just say that you're my informant, my CI. He ripped open your gut and saw you saw your own insides. You were in a coma. So yeah, you got plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows a brow. Yep, I think you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. You're going to investigate, you're going to ask questions, you're going to listen to all the rumors you come up with, and then you're going to find me a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Oh, yeah, right. Don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. She puts her hand up and you can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure to get you more intel tomorrow. I'm going to find a way. Up until then, not a word to anybody. Not a word. The door opens and squeaks and slams shut. Fucking bitch. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed with your ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in ignition, motor running. Radio on crackles. You turn it off and start driving. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You could find them back at your studio after your shift. 6 clues discovered, available in the room. Alright, so we're going to take on an investigatory tone here. A little bit of noir action going on, but honestly, I like the dialogue, and stylistically, the game's knocking it out of the park right now. This is a very, very moody, atmospheric game. It positively kind of drips with angst, I guess. I know that's not the big thing for a lot of people, but for some people, they like that kind of stuff. You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You can still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Bussett gave you on the table. On the wall, you hung up a big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of, well, the plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into this situation. You're suddenly overcome with the desire to sleep. You close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. You take your shoes off before getting back to work. Alright, so we've got an autopsy report for victim number 3 and victim number 4. On the corkboard, we've got a number of suspects. We've got Paul Marie Fragonard. We've got Claudia Campos. We've got Hervé Grelo. We've got Pierrot Bataz. And we have Salim Wadian. Okay. This guy's a retired cop. This guy's a medical examiner. Homeless man with an unknown background. We've got a dad was a cop who died 2 years ago. Mom has mental health issues after the Richteden health scandal. He's gay and in a relationship but never disclosed this information at work. Oh, he's a cop too. Okay, so we got a couple of people who are cops. And this guy right here is a well-known lawyer. A defender on the Noir case. Defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods, and was a promising football player when he was 10. Alright. Down here we've got autopsy reports. Apparently we've got clues. So the killer's case there. We've got a picture of a crime scene. We've got a picture of a crime scene. We've got a picture of a crime scene. Apparently that's all costing me time right now. Is it 5:43 in the morning right now? Good lord, dude. So if we examine the board here, we've got knew the victims or researched them. The killer's height is less than 1 meter 80 centimeters. Message on top of the crime scene. Victims killed with 1 bullet to the neck. So let's go ahead and line all these up as we can. Killer left a message in chalk on the first 3 crime scenes. There's you. You deserve this on crime scene. Message on crime scene, time is up. Rare gun that was used in the 70s. Alright, the death was an execution. No sign of violence. And then we have a message on the crime scene right there. And then we have this unifying theory right here for everyone. Okay. So basically we're going to want to prioritize and see if we can get one of these people in the cab and just kind of pick their brains. But for now, I guess we'll end the night. I don't think there's anything else to work on. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces and their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches and you're in pain. You could tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It's awfully empty, but tomorrow you're going to have a chance to fill it up more. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. Your eyelids flutter once and you're asleep. My name is Splattercat. This is Night Call. You open one eye. You find your studio calming. There's something special about living in a garret. Like yours, this is the last place before the sky starts, and you get up quickly. After a few minutes, you're outside the studio. I'm going to stop right here. Hi, do and take care, everybody. This is a wonderfully thematic game. I actually really like it, and I do want to play more. Let me know what you think down below. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for stopping in. Hi, do, and take care. The game is down below if you wanted to purchase it for yourself.